instances of paranormal phenomena have been reported in this desolate place. Events that may reflect the area's tragic past.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Other Nature's Podcast. We talk all things paranormal. I'm Ken James, and this is Jason McGidry.
Hey, folks.
If we can haunt, howl, or dwell in the dark, we're fucking talking about it. And tonight, we're talking about it ain't falling down. It's the Tower of London. This time. Anyway, so yeah, the Tower of London. Lots of stories revolving around that boy. Mm-hmm. Right? A lot of spookies.
That boy. Oh, yeah.
Right. So before we get into the Tower of London, not the London Bridge, I will be sending over to Jay for tonight's jump scare.
All right, thanks, Jay. So tonight's story comes to us from Bethany from New Hampshire.
Bethany? Oh, Beth.
Oh. Bethany says, I was driving across country with my mom and sister when I was 16, and my sister was 20. It was late, but we were all well-rested, still, and alert. We were driving along on interstate and needed gas and a bathroom break, so we stopped at the only rest stop in 200 miles. There was a van full of teenagers on a road trip at the gas station, as well as a small gray car parked at the pump in front of us with two young men standing still outside of it. When we got there, everything felt wrong. We'd been on the road for days and seen many rest stops at night and had never been afraid until then. My mom and sister went inside and I stayed in the car. I heard the teenagers say they were creeped out and couldn't get the pump to work, and they left in a hurry. I was watching the car in front of us, and the two men had not moved at all, not an inch. They weren't talking. They weren't on phones. They were just standing there, still as stone. My sister and mom came running back to the car, and when they got in, the two men slowly turned to look at us while not moving or pivoting the rest of their bodies. And I swear to fucking shit, we all saw the same thing. They had eyes dark as pitch and empty. Truly empty. Not black, not reflecting any light at all, just a void. We sped out of there and didn't stop until we were in the next city. The worst thing about the entire experience? We couldn't find the place on any map. We knew exactly which spot on the interstate to look, and we couldn't find it on Google Maps or any paper map we had. We even asked locals about the creepy gas station out on that stretch of road and got only confused looks. We've traveled out that interstate since, and there is no rest stop. Thanks, guys. Love the podcast. Bethany, New Hampshire.
So, Ghost Town. With
Ghost rest stop?
With black-eyed people.
With black-eyed
dudes.
Attendants. They'll pump your gas and you finish the sentence. I don't know. I like it. I like that it's, one of those, like, that's almost like, I think that's another danger, right? Like,
sure.
You, like, almost like you've wandered into the Twilight Zone or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, like you I don't know, like, you know that part in True Detective when Rust is driving and he starts like having the acid flashbacks and it's like
right.
I like that part because it reminded me of those stories where like people are on interstates for a long time and they swear that they have missing time, and it's like and it's probably just your brain just like checking out because it's like the same shit going on over again. But like maybe there is a thing about like driving at the same speed along these roads, and like all those cars that have passed back and forth, there's some kind of time slip that occurs because it's just these byways that like all these people have traveled on, and it just, I don't know, there's something. I think there's kind of something inherently spooky about like older roads.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like how many people have traveled down them?
Then maybe don't travel down there anymore.
Yeah.
The stopping of the energy could cause something, but we don't know.
No. Like is this like this could even be like a dimensional slip like we've talked about before. Like these were just people in another time, and a car pulls up. They're like, what is that car? That's like all gray and like fucked up looking. So that's what that looked like to them, but they see this and they see these gas station attendants, and to them they look like these black-eyed nothings.
Yeah, they're like
it's two layers of time impinging on each other.
I don't like to assume, Jay.
Oh, I'm not assuming. I'm just throwing out some.
Sure.
Some
I know.
what ifs.
I know. It's spooky, and there are a lot of stories like this where people encounter these kind of things. I mean, Daniel Stern on Celebrity Ghost Stories encountered an entire town of ghosts.
That's actually a pretty interesting story.
It's a very interesting story. It's a good one.
Yeah, it was in England, I think.
And I love Daniel Stern. So
yeah. Especially when he gets electrocuted and turns into a skeleton, but still has hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Harry, I'm coming up. Mm-hmm. But, whoa. This is Came Across the Other Dangerous Podcast News Desk. It's another haunted headline.
Haunted headline.
All right, thanks, Jay. Ancient ghost footprints discovered date back to 12,000 years.
The footprints of a ghost?
Archaeologists have stumbled upon 88 ancient footprints dating back 12,000 years in the Utah desert. The quote-unquote ghost footprints, which were discovered last month at Hill Air Force Base in Utah's Great Salt Lake Desert, get their name because they can only be seen after it rains, when the prints fill up with water and vanish as they dry out in the sun. That's fucking cool.
That is cool.
The human footprints were found in the alkali flats of the Utah test and training alkali flats on the Utah test and training range. The 5,000-acre archaeological survey, which employs the use of non-invasive equipment such as magnometers and groundbreaking penetrating radar, holds other artifacts dating back to the Ice Age. So, where it might not be supernatural, it is something that is...
Something that old that's creepy as fuck just to begin with. That dating back to the last ice age, that's...
Right. And it fills up, like when it's raining, it fills up with water. And there's human footprints there.
Yeah.
Great work, guys.
Yeah, it's probably an ancient lake bed.
Yeah. Sick.
I love it.
I love it too.
I love it. There's something really spooky about that.
All right, so...
What's up? Oh. We're here to record.
Yeah. So, the Tower of London?
The Tower of London, sir. This is one of those ones where it's like, you think about, like, we do a lot of American haunts on here, right? So, when we do the international ones, it's got to be, like, some of the huge ones. And you think of a haunted country, I think of England. And when I think of a haunted place in England, the fucking Tower of London. I mean, like, gold standard? Would you say this is, like...
Yeah, just because of... It's
old,
and there's a lot of stories with it. There's
a lot of bloodshed.
A lot of bloodshed, a lot of stories, a lot of history, and it's certified gold standard.
Well, let's dive into it.
Let's go.
So, built by William the Conqueror in the 11th century to defend and secure his status as the King of England, the Tower of London became not only a magnificent fortress but a royal palace as well. It has also become the backdrop for some of the grisliest scenes in British history. The execution of three English queens, Anne Boleyn, Catherine Howard, and Lady Jane Grey, a mother beheaded for the sins of her son, the supposed murder of the two young princes locked up in the Bloody Tower by their uncle, the Duke of Gloucester, treason, murder, and execution. The stone walls of the Tower of London have seen it all. Little wonder, then, that it is one of the most haunted places in all of Great Britain. Need to hear more?
Yes.
Well, we got them for you. So first up, you may recognize this name, Guy Fawkes.
Yes.
Those fun vendetta masks?
Yeah.
Well, Guy Fawkes was taken to the Tower of London after his part in the plot to assassinate James I at Parliament in 1605. This was the gunpowder treason. See V for Vendetta for more fun and antics on that.
But Natalie Portman was there historically, so that's what we're going to hear about. Anywho,
breaking my heart. Imprisoned in the Queen's house, Guy Fawkes was subjected to intense torture, likely on the rack in the White Tower dungeons. To this day, people hear his screams echoing through the halls.
Love it. Oh,
that's so classic, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. Like they even do that on Ghosts or like Halloween. Halloween, soundtracks for spooky backgrounds.
Yeah, clinking chains and then
I grew up with that.
Yeah, it's mwah.
Yeah,
mwah. Yep. Anne Boleyn's procession. As ghost stories go, there are few as spooky and as tragic as this one. When Henry VIII broke with the Roman Catholic Church to set aside his first wife, Catherine of Aragon, and became the supreme head of his new church, the Church of England, that's some fat dick spirit.
It's not fat dick spirit. Yes, it is fat dick spirit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
That's fat dick spirit. Yeah.
Right. I mean Henry VIII, right?
Right.
The Church of England, Anne Boleyn became Henry's second wife. Just 3 years later, Anne was accused of adultery and taken as a prisoner by barge along the River Thames to the Tower of London through the infamous Traitor's Gate. Anne was beheaded on Tower Green and laid to rest in the Chapel Royal of St. Peter and Advincula? Oh, St. Peter Advincula. I'm sorry. Yeah. St. Peter in Chains. The parish church of the Tower of London. Some 340 years later, a soldier reported seeing a light burning in the closed chapel. After climbing to a window to look within, the soldier is said to have seen a procession of knights and ladies led by a headless Anne Boleyn.
God damn it.
Knights! Ghost knights!
Oh, with a headless leader,
Yeah. That's another. She's not only was that's not an isolated incident. Her headless ghost carrying her. Dude, it's classic. The episode of Roseanne. You have. Oh no! I'm sorry. He's supposed to be.
Either way, it's
Marie Antoinette,
but still the same
headless
concept,
lady is.
yeah.
That's a very. It's classic. So her headless ghost carrying her head, and I think she's supposed to be carrying it like this, is like seen like all the time.
Wonderful.
A procession of ghosts. Man.
Yeah.
How great is it? Why don't we have those here?
We do in Gettysburg. We had one.
Oh God, my favorite.
Maybe I'll put that. No, because we're in London. We'll save that.
We're good. We're good. Love it. Ghost nights.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
So Henry VI, all right, imprisoned in the Wakefield Tower of the Tower of London, Henry VI was murdered at the altar in the King's private chapel in 1471, close to midnight. Henry's ghost is believed to haunt the Wakefield Tower, appearing on the stroke of midnight. So this guy just shows up, and apparently, from what I've heard from other sources, is his like blood-soaked corpse is like standing there, and like just like he shows up surprised, like and like awesome.
What show? It's funny actually. Supernatural did that. I know you hate it, but there's an episode where a ghost showed up.
The ghost of a bear.
A bear ghost.
Yes. Henry III housed his menagerie of wild animals at the Tower of London, including a gift of either lions or leopards from the Holy Roman Emperor Frederick II in 1235. Pumas, tigers, jackals, an elephant from France, and even a polar bear were to follow. Visitors came to the tower to see the creatures, with bear baiting going on to become a popular pastime in 16th and 17th century London. And it seems the horrors of this pastime are still heard today, with the ghost of a bear, which is said to appear from behind the door of the jewel room, perhaps a spectral guard of the crown jewels.
I love it.
The ghost of a black bear is also reported to have appeared near the Martin Tower in 1816. Ghost bear.
Wait till Martin comes tower?
It's possible.
Ghost bear.
Wait till
But it shows up and they're like, who is that man that's attacking? It turns out the ghost bear is just attacking.
Stands up.
Is attacking ghost Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And he's just like, his ghost is like, oh god.
Yeah. Not again.
Yeah. Please. Just. The bear's hanging.
Yeah. Next up, we have Sir Walter Raleigh. Sent to the tower no less than 3 times, explorer Sir Walter Raleigh was imprisoned by both Elizabeth I and James I, spending over 13 years in the Bloody Tower during one confinement and attempting suicide. Sir Walter Raleigh's last imprisonment at the Tower of London, in the Beauchamp Tower, took place in 1603 before he was beheaded outside the Palace of Westminster.
That'll do it.
Yep, so once again, his headless corpse, holding his head, is also seen outside of the tower.
I guess this is a super London-y thing, huh?
Beheaded ghosts, man.
Yeah. Not a Hessian, but... Yeah.
No. Well, I mean, it's a shame, too, because, I mean, he's credited with a lot of discoveries, and this guy, his ghost wanders this fucking...
Sir Walter Raleigh, man.
Yeah.
Holding his head.
Yeah. Not Sir Francis Drake.
That's who that was? Wait, what?
No, I said not Sir Francis Drake.
You
no.
scared me.
He has a video game series based around him. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Not the movie, though.
Yeah. I didn't watch the movie yet.
Don't.
I won't.
The faceless young woman.
Right, I'm familiar.
Yeah, in 1957, Welsh guardsman Johns was on sentry duty at the Salt Tower, where he encountered a shapeless form with the face of a young woman. Perhaps one of the many women who suffered a terrible fate at the Tower of London. Yeah, this is, we've gone over this kind of stuff before, like just the ghostly woman and what a, whether it's faceless or it's, has a, a form with a woman's face. Like, this seems to be like bread and butter for British hauntings.
Yeah, well, they have that, one of the first things.
You got a gray lady, a blue lady, a green lady.
Yeah, one of the things, like, I'm pulling up here, this is like, the 13 ghosts of the Tower of London, and like the first thing is like a super dramatic woman.
She just saw a body.
Yeah. But they have, there's that romanticism with like the elegancy of the afterlife that they do, but it's always there's some like super grisly or gruesome thing attached to their ghost where it's like, even in the afterlife with that horrible thing, they still have the grace. That's super British. That's super European. Yeah.
No, just almost like in League of Their Own, where like they're doing the newsreel, or like just because you're running bases, there's no reason to let your nose get shiny, and then she pulls out the compact and just and then she continues playing. That's just like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a League of Their Own, and
Margaret
Jesus
Pole.
Christ. By the way,
Margaret Pole, like Anne Boleyn, the beheading of Margaret Pole, Countess of Salisbury, took place on Tower Green, which lies to the west of the White Tower. Brought to the scaffold by Henry VIII for the crime of being the mother of Cardinal Pole, who opposed the crime of being the mother of Cardinal Pole, who opposed Henry's self-created position as supreme head of the Church of England.
That's
God damn.
Yeah. Oh, dude, they were ruthless.
Margaret Pole was 67 at the time of her death. Eyewitnesses say the executioner on the fateful day in 1541 was a wretched and blundering youth who, unable to perform a clean execution with his axe, instead hacked at Margaret Pole's head and shoulders. That eternal scream echoes through the towers today. Yeah, I've heard about this one before, where there's like the eyewitness accounts, he tried and could not get her head to go through, and some other guy had to like come up and step in for him. And
right, I think they said at the first blow she gasped and was
it was horrific.
Yeah,
it was bad.
Yeah,
like it was bad.
Yep.
And then apparently when her head finally came off, and it was in I guess at the time they would pull the head up just so you could see, and her eyes were like blinking like crazy. Yeah, like everyone reported that. Like, that's some shit.
That's like the scariness of just the human condition, severing nerves and things still going.
Not only you being executed, but you're getting dude. This is like a lady who like had she's a countess. 67 years old. She did not see this shit coming.
Yeah, no.
Like, holy
Even when they held her head up and she was looking around and she didn't see that coming. Yeah.
Oh. Fucking, that's a weird visual.
Isn't it?
Yep.
Like, you see that kind of thing in horror movies, but then, like, if you're thinking in, like, real life and that happened, you're like...
Yeah, because you'd want the executioner to be like the dude, like super sharp sword. It's getting done with one stroke. You're good to go.
Well, I think that actually might have been the lead up to the guillotine, because they talked about there was a lot of failed attempts from the executioners, and they were like, we need one efficient thing. That's just a big heavy blade that slides.
I read that because a lot of executioners, even though like they had their hooded face because they did it on purpose so they weren't like shunned in the community, a lot of them would have to get drunk because they were cutting the head off of another person. Right. Like, you might be you're doing your duty to queen and country, or god and country, or king and country, but you're still chopping another person's fucking head off. So I'm sure people are going out and getting a load on, and they're coming in swinging the sword around, and they're all fucked up and they're hitting all sorts of shit.
See, my problem is I would have the opposite effect.
Oh, yeah?
Like, if I was out getting a load on and, like, I have to cut the person, I'd be like, oh, dude, that's fucking hairy, dude. Like,
so you'd be better without the,
I'd be like, oh, man, like, nah, man, we're not doing this. Like, no, remember that time, you know, Bill, you were there. Like, I couldn't, like, oh.
The king would just come out, kill them all.
Yeah, kill them all. Yeah. He'd be like, you see that alcohol is your ally. I was born of this.
And the time I'd seen the light, it was blinding. Enough pain.
Yeah.
The White Figure. Okay. Tower of London is protected by the Yeoman Warders, nicknamed Beefeaters. I'm sure you've seen pictures of them. Very, very interesting costumes, the red and the black.
A gin of the same.
That is not very good. In 1864, Captain J.D. Dundas observed a yeoman attempting to charge a whitish female figure with his bayonet. Chillingly, this apparition appeared in the courtyard where Anne Boleyn was beheaded. So, how about that? You're out there, it looks so... What do you think it was? Was he thought it was a real person? Or he was so scared by this ghost that he was like, I'm going to bayonet the shit out of this thing?
I think it was a realization of, you shouldn't be here. And then, like, get out. And then when he was like, oh, fuck.
Okay. So basically, piss off, ghost.
Yeah. At first, it's like, who goes there? You shouldn't be here. And then all of a sudden, you're like, no.
Yeah. A little bit of ectoplasm got on it too. He's like, ew.
He's like scraping it on the walls.
Egon, your mucus.
Yeah.
That's seriously though, man. That's
yeah.
Lady Jane Grey, right? Known as the English Queen with the shortest reign, Protestant Lady Jane Grey became queen after the death of King Edward VI, son of King Henry VIII. Edward named Lady Jane Grey as his heir in his last will over his half-sister Mary. A pawn in royal power games, the king's protector John Dudley had arranged for the 16-year-old Lady Jane Grey to marry his son, Lord Guildford Dudley. On Edward's death on the 6th of July, 1553, Lady Jane became queen, a title she was to hold for just 9 days before the council decreed that Catholic Mary was the true ruler of England. Lady Jane Grey and her husband Dudley were executed on the infamous Tower Green in 1554. The white figure of Jane is said to haunt the battlements of the Tower of London to this day. Yeah, this is a very famous one where...
Yeah, well, first off...
Yeah. 9 days?
We're the rulers now, right?
Yeah.
9 days later, like, nah.
Yeah.
You die.
Yeah.
I'm haunting some shit.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
I'm straight up. I'm coming. Yeah. I'm in your bedroom. You're
Yeah.
waking up. My face is close to you.
Yeah. What's up?
Yeah. And I go. I'm doing all the noises.
I would do some like it would be like a pestilence, almost like to the point where like the person wouldn't be scared that it's a ghost, but it would almost be like how someone would just wait around corners just waiting to fucking scare somebody, like one of those YouTube guys.
Right.
Ah, God damn it again!
Yeah.
Like it would be that, but it just wouldn't stop.
Yeah. No, like I'd wait for the moment of like you're dropping your bag and your tea.
Yeah.
Like, oh, before it touches the lip, bang, you're getting hit. And they're like, ooh. And I'm like, better make some more tea there, buddy.
Yep. Middle of the night, you got to visit the bathroom.
Yeah.
Maybe a number 2. You sit down, ghost finger in the butt.
Yeah. Or as you sit down, I put my butt in your face as you sit down, like ghost button face.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, what do you like seeing ghost butts? Oh, it's like, I don't like ghost butts. I'm just trying to go to the bathroom.
It's like, you know what? I'd like to be alive still.
Yeah.
So
remember what happened?
Yeah, remember when you
oh no,
ordered
it
my
wasn't
death?
you.
Yeah.
It was your great grandfather. Oh well.
Sins of the father. Too bad.
Yeah.
No, but her ghost. This is a super famous one where people from the outside I know have observed a white figure walking along the battlements.
Sure.
And that's just classic.
It is. Oh, absolutely.
The white ghost lady walking along the castle top.
Yeah, it's just one of those. It's like that's what we're here for. You know, like
this next one I really like because this is like. Well, it's called the Monk's Footsteps.
Sure.
If you visit the Tower of London, listen out for the sound of sandals slapping against the stone floors, reported to be the steps of a ghostly monk. That's that classic residual haunting.
Right.
But it's probably from it could be a monk, but I imagine almost like a servant going back and forth all goddamn day long. Oh, this fucker needs this now. Oh, he fucking needs this now. Like, you know what I mean? Like all day long.
Boss jag off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Arbella Stewart. An often repeated ghost sighting at the Tower of London is that of Arbella Stewart, cousin to Elizabeth I. Arbella was imprisoned by James I for marrying William Seymour, nephew of Lady Jane Grey, without royal consent. Sons of bitches. These rules.
Yeah.
Seeing this match as a possible threat to his throne, James placed Arbella under arrest at the Tower, where she either refused to eat or was purposely starved. Arbella's ghost is thought to stalk the Queen's house. Yeah, I've also heard of this one.
Yeah.
I think this was in a movie because they show it, and she was purposely starved they say that, like, it's like, what do you mean you're not going to eat? Like, at some point, you're like, yeah, I'm going to eat.
Yeah.
After day 3, 4, yeah, you're going to eat.
Yeah.
Even if it's peanut butter and jelly. I'm like, peanut butter and jelly? Like, fuck yeah, I'll wreck a peanut butter and jelly.
I got locked up for 3 days.
Yeah.
Over a weekend for a suspicion of DUI.
Yeah.
In the Roundhouse downtown.
Yeah.
After day 1, I ate a fucking prison cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
Had to do it.
You have to eat.
I had to eat.
Yeah.
They were putting people in my cell. I don't know these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat.
Yeah, you got to be in fighting shape.
Yeah, right. I was like, if someone's coming, I gotta. Yeah. Anyway.
Bob and weave, Ken.
Bob and weave. Yeah. Don't hit the bars. Enjoy the fountain on top of the toilet.
Yes. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Nice. A little slice of life from Ken. The Lost Princes. On the death of Edward IV, Edward's young son, 12-year-old Edward, became King Edward V. Yeah. Under the protection of his uncle, the Duke of Gloucester. Wanting to take the crown for his own, the Duke of Gloucester imprisoned Edward and his young brother Richard in the Tower of London. Their mother, Elizabeth Woodville, took sanctuary at Westminster Abbey. After declaring young Edward illegitimate, the Duke of Gloucester became King Richard III, and Edward and Richard were never seen again, believed to be murdered at the order of their uncle. The bones of 2 children were later found beneath a staircase in the Tower of London. Yeah, this is, the 2 princes. It's a very famous English story, and the fact that they actually did later on find the bones, it was like under the steps. I watched a show about it. Really fucking interesting.
Right, and there was that that song in the 90s by the Spin Doctors. 2 Princes.
1, 2 princes, let me tell you, it's good.
Yeah! Yeah, that's what that was about. Yeah, right.
Yeah. This one's got a princely racket.
This one wants to buy you flowers.
Yeah. Someone made a joke about that because they recently discovered the bones of King Richard III, who perpetrated this, and
they were like, he's got a little dick.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's still. I don't think it survived. It was just bones. But he was discovered under a parking lot. So I forget who said it, was like a comedian or something, like, but there's a possibility that in the 90s somebody was parked over Richard III's grave while playing 2 Princes. Like, and that makes me smile.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the Ghost Boys have been reported for a long time. Like, that they show up almost like the twins in the Shining.
Yeah. No,
like,
they were
2 boys.
They were like, they wouldn't be like together, would they?
Yeah.
You think?
Yes, they were buried together.
Ah, shit.
They were killed together. They were killed.
Right.
They were apparently poisoned or stabbed in their sleep or something, and then they were buried together under the stairs.
I'd like to think of it as like one room, the ones there like, I don't know, and they go to another rooms like, like they're like setting it up that way. They're not just like in a hallway together.
No, they're a package deal. They're a 2-pack.
Holding.
Yeah.
2-pack sugar.
And the last of the famous haunts, we have what's known as the Nameless Thing.
Nameless Thing.
Yes. A petrifying spirit which follows the guards of the tower as they walk their beat from the river's Sally Portal entrance. So this was the interesting one where this was on that one documentary I was talking about, where the yeoman guys who, they're the guards, the beef eaters, and it's just a thing. They're like, oh yeah, something follows her. They don't know what it is. It's just this like formless shadow, I guess, or it's almost like a shadow entity of some sort, but sounds like somebody who wants revenge.
I'm sure there's a lot of motherfuckers in those days, because these are the people like of name.
Yeah.
Imagine the people not of name killed unjustly.
Yeah. And every night this thing comes out, you think he's like, at last we'll have revenge. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think so too.
So.
Oof.
And this is just these are the top top ones.
Yeah.
There's a lot of associated haunts and the 22 executions over the years. I think one of the last person he executed there was a German spy who tried to parachute into England. It's.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Yep.
It's funny though, like you think about like justification of these things, right? Like it's like most of the times you hear of like, all right, this is high treason, they must be executed. This is they won against the crown in such a way that they were like, most of these are just disagreements.
Well, disagreements, but like on the political stage. So it's just like, you know.
Yeah, but in the same breath.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I think it's like it's that, you know, that idea that like if you're playing that game at such a high level, you know, the stakes are always going to be high. So if you're involved in courtly life, you know, you can get fucked up for no reason.
It's brutal.
It is brutal.
It's hey man, glad I don't live back then.
Totally. I mean,
or you sent me back then like in Time Cop with the 2 Uzis, you know.
I mean, you probably would be the new king of England if you showed up with 2 Uzis. Even if you didn't have any extra ammo, you just show up and you're like, hey, you know what I can do? And then save the other one.
Yeah, right.
Oh, they're like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, they're like, wow. And I'm like, hail to the king, baby.
Mm-hmm. That's how it's done. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, are you in the assumption? Are we going to say that this is ODB canon?
Oh, this is ingrained. This is the original shit, man.
Yeah.
This is the Tower of London. This is where this is like a ghost factory. Like
Ghost Factory, I like it.
You know what I'm saying?
Like yeah.
You know, yeah, absolutely. This is you know, this is one of the originals. This sets up ghost archetypes: headless ghosts, you know, screaming ghosts, twin ghosts.
Like this is kind of the basis for like, even we have like highway ghosts. We have like, you know, Mary Worth or Mary Wales, Bloody Mary. Like all our shit comes from this kind of you know, English.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, the idea of like, even in their brutal murder, they still, in the afterlife, they have this grace and this like, they move and there's a beauty to their death.
Unless they're holding on to their own head.
But even in that, it's like a you know, a playing card. It's like, you know, it's like a regal. There's a regalness to it. No, I still have my dignity. Yeah. It's not on the ground. I'm holding it.
Sure.
You know?
Okay. Nice dress.
How dare you? You know.
The American Ghost Hunters are just like,
like
what? Got my rig on.
Like I'm here. I see it. I have it. Then like, you know, they're getting lectured by a British ghost. Like, here now, how darest thou talk to me in such a manner? Yep. Yes, my head is not on my shoulders, but I hold it. It has not sullied the ground. Yeah. You heathen.
I'm with it.
And then you're like, oh, I'm American. And they're like, the colonies. Oh, thought we dispatched of that snake in my day.
They don't know what the fuck's going on. They're busy walking around the halls of this old fucking castle.
Right. Just trying to get some fucking tea or something. Yeah.
So, before we wrap it up, I wanted to discuss two recent occurrences.
Sure.
That have plagued me.
All right.
The first was the release of the trailer of the Munsters, and the second was the release of the trailer of what I thought was a joke, Spirit Halloween the movie? Ken, before we get to we got to do Munsters first. Yeah.
Can I start?
Go ahead.
Who the fuck asked for this?
Nobody.
Okay. So, hey Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
Hey Rob Zombie. Stop making shit for yourself. And even if when you go home to make that, you look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Did you actually enjoy that or like it?
It's weird, man, because he's apparently like a super fan, but this is made for, it's PG. This is made for like, it's family entertainment. But then they show that trailer. All right, so it starts out, right? And it's like, from the director of Halloween, Devil's Rejects, and whatever the other one was. It's like the PG movie you're showing for, this is, okay. And then it starts. And then the colors, first of all, his wife was in it, so I was just like, fuck this. The guy who plays fucking Herman should be shot and hung.
He was in.
It could just be bad direction, but like his whole. I'm like, what am I fucking watching?
Nothing that anyone else wants to watch.
Right. However, the guy who does Grandpa is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's fucking the dude from Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
It's he was in 31. He was in, you know, like, and he played Dr. Loomis.
Oh, okay.
In his Halloweens. Yeah, he's got a
Okay.
working relationship with the guy.
He the thing that's funny about it is, I mean, it's going to be atrocious. Like I feel like it's going to be an event. Like I'm like, I can't wait to watch this and just hate it. But at the same time, then they go at the end of the trailer. It switches to like black and white, and it's like, why isn't it in black and white? It looks so much better in black and white.
So Rob Zombie's whole thing
Yeah.
is the 70s, right?
Yeah.
Like, and this wasn't the 70s, right? But like his whole thing, right? It's like all of his movies, soundtrack,
Yeah.
look, vibe is
Yeah.
the 70s, right? So he wants to be like, and it's like, okay, it wore thin eventually,
Yeah.
and you're like, so you make the Munsters, right? Like Americana.
Yeah.
You
This
know,
is a prequel, apparently. That's how they met.
Why the fuck does anyone care about that?
I don't know. Because well, another thing is that it guarantees is that the kids aren't going to be in there.
So 3 of the original characters that pretty much get overshadowed by the Addams Family. That no one fucking
For good reason.
Look. I love the theme song of the Munsters.
Yeah.
I love the surf rock. I love that.
Yeah.
It's great. But who, like, seriously, who's out there, like, that's still alive? That's like, they're doing the Munsters? Like, oh, we.
Believe it or not, a lot of people.
No, they're lying to themselves.
No, the Munsters have a huge following, and I think that's why a lot of people are pissed off. I know what you're saying, but the Munsters have a huge following.
Sure, but if you're going to redo it, don't do it PG. Do it with some edge.
Well, I can see the thought process. They just got the wrong guy to do it. Because why not keep... Because me and my kids, every once in a while, will watch a couple episodes of the Munsters. And it's fun. It's a fun show. It's family entertainment. There's goofy shit in there. It's funny. But then you watch that trailer, and it's like, it's not even the same tone. It's not like the guy who plays... The guy who plays Herman, man. The faces... I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? And the color is just wrong. Like, he was not that green. Like, it's awful. It's so awful. It's
terrible.
probably the worst trailer I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah, well, it's garbage, and it's going to be garbage, and it's just another thing that this guy, got a green light for somehow.
Yeah.
And is shoving down our throats, and like...
But it's hysterical that it's going straight to Netflix.
Yeah, well, they were trying to push, but once again, like, another recent movie that was shelved, the test screenings were unredeemable, as they were, and they were like... we're not a big studio, and we don't have someone that's in league with HBO and WB. So they're like, oh, let's, you know what? We'll just go straight to streaming. We spent time and money, and I think that guy's got like naked pictures of someone at a studio with like, I don't know.
Who? Rob Zombie?
Rob Zombie's got naked pictures of someone in a studio.
Okay.
And he's like, "Are we making the Munsters?" And he like keeps dropping them. Oh,
interesting.
Oh, we're gonna make the Munsters.
I just want them to stop making movies.
Right. Well, look, House of a Thousand Corpses is cool because, like, around Halloween, I'll put it on and I'll make a drinking game about it.
I don't 100% mind that movie. When it came out, I liked it. It's a long music video.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So then they do, the sequel, which like try to make them heroes. They gave them more of the 70s vibe. The comical ending with Freebird and like the effects of the bullets, and it's like, all right, well, the special effects didn't need to be in the 70s there, pal. And I know people are gonna be so mad at me. Sorry, guys, but it's duty. It's poop. It's poop.
I don't think there's too many fans out there for his movies at large, because it's
the one Halloween he did would have had a cool vibe. It had let me say this: they had cool vibes. But, 1, Michael Myers was too big. 2, put his wife in it again. 3, he casted a little shit kid that sucked. And you're just, we're stuck holding the bag.
I don't know if we ever discussed that, but, like, that movie was awful because why are we seeing Michael Myers' origin? He's called the Shape for a reason.
Right.
We don't want to see his backstory.
Right.
He's a force of nature, essentially.
Well, you get
what
it when
happens
he kills his
when
mom in the originals.
Yeah, but you don't see him really. You see that one shot of him. We don't have like a whole thing about him killing or skinning dead cats or whatever the fuck.
When he escapes, that's the start, right?
Yeah.
Kills the mom.
Yeah. He's an urban legend.
Yeah, and then he escapes, and that's it. He's out there.
Yeah. He's an urban legend. He shouldn't have a backstory like that.
I'm with you.
You know, like it's.
I don't need to see his stripper mother. Like,
I hate her so much.
Oh, she's terrible.
I hate her laugh.
I don't even hate her regular, like her fake laugh. I just hate her voice.
Lords of Salem.
Oh,
dude.
Oh.
I could do an episode ranting on that fucking movie.
Sure.
But we're not going to do that.
So let's do this. Let's move on to the next one. The next track. Because I don't.
There's not even much to be said.
Yeah.
It came on. I thought it was a joke. I texted you. I was like, "There's a Spirit Halloween movie."
Well, I already knew that, but when you,
I didn't even know.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
I had no idea.
And then I knew they casted my boy Chris Lloyd, who I'm a huge fan of.
Which is like, what the fuck is he doing?
They did because they used him to bring the name, but they even show you in the trailer.
Yeah.
They kill him off immediately.
Good.
So he comes in. He has a heart attack in the trailer. And he's the ghost. He's a spirit.
Right.
Cool. But
first of all, it's ripped vibes from Goosebumps, the two Goosebumps movies, and the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark movie.
Sure. And also Stranger Things a little bit.
A little bit, but I think it was more. I think it's more those.
Sure. Well,
and it's. Is it going to be a commercial for the store the whole time?
I was going to say, that's exactly
like,
what
I'm
it
looking
is.
at it, and it's like...
It's a propaganda film for Spirit Halloween.
It's got to be, because, like, you can see that, like, they're going to be, like, specific monsters, and then you're going to go to Spirit Halloween this year, and those monsters are going to have their section. Be a character from the movie!
Yeah, and we'll see, the funniest thing they did, though, in the setup is... it's obviously in an old Toys R Us, right?
Yes.
When they're pulling up, it's obviously an old Toys R Us, which I thought was fun and great.
Yep.
But then, like, they made it, like, they did a curse where, like, the mom, like, curses Chris Lloyd, and she's, like, doing, like a Spanish curse, and, like...
Like, it's trying to be, like, that ironic funny that, when it works, can be cool, but it's everything in that... it just missed. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I really... I was like, this is bad. This is bad.
Right. Well, there's people that camp out in front of their flagship store. It's becoming one of those things.
Oh, you mean like what happened last week?
Yeah. Right. So that's the thing. It's like it's becoming a thing. And all they don't have any obscure, it's all like run-of-the-mill people that are like, oh, I'm into Halloween, I'm into this stuff, and it's like all the same bullshit that everyone's like, no, I'm into Halloween, I'm into that.
I saw a bunch of, couple prominent, social media, influencers that do this kind of shit. And, they showed up at, it was like the big opening at the Little Egg Harbor store, which I've been to a few times. Sure. It's a great store. Sure. But they're like, oh, we waited. They weren't letting any more people in. So but then people who got in and, like, they're showing what they have, it's all the same shit again. And it's licenses that I love, but they're being beaten into the fucking ground. Mm-hmm. Beetlejuice, Hocus Pocus, Nightmare Before Christmas. What's the other? Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat. Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I
didn't see anything from Walking Dead.
Fortnite.
Oh yeah. But and I think I'm kind of glad we got onto the subject for it, because I think we were discussing this before, that like Spirit Halloween, like last like it's over. Like it used to be like, okay, here are some franchises. Here you have some superheroes, you have a couple things from movies, but by and large it was monsters.
Right.
Halloween classic monsters, and it had more creative shit. Yeah, you'd have some like themed areas, like, oh, here's like the scarecrow looking monsters. Yeah. Here's some vampires. Here's like the ancient history, like Roman looking stuff. Now it's franchise. It's disgusting. And more importantly, nobody else can compete with them. So now, and they do their pop-up thing. So they have like guerrilla tactics. So like they just come in there, they have their areas, and every year gets worse. And if you don't think that's true, if you're like a Halloween person, whatever you think that means, if you're a Halloween person, if you think Spirit Halloween is getting better every year, you're deluded. They're getting worse every year. I will still go this year, of course. I'll check out for the first time. I usually do, oh, what's the theme this year? Yeah, their animatronics and stuff. Yeah. See what it is, but I know it's going to be just more bullshit.
Right. See, my favorite portions of them, because there's bigger ones and there's smaller ones. You go to the bigger ones, they have the more animatronics, right? Mm-hmm. But also, you'll get to that section where it's the... decorations. Yes. And they have some really cool decorations. I'll give them credit there, right?
Yeah, no, they do.
I'll give them some credit there, because most of them aren't associated with the licensed properties, right? Mm-hmm. They'll have like some really cool stuff. Biggest problem with it is it's so fucking expensive.
Yeah.
It is so expensive. It's like, me and my wife were there last year, you know, I'm
Yep.
like, you can make this. Like, what?
Yep.
Like, you know, like, you know, it's cool. It's really cool, but I'm not going to drop $60 on this, like, string lights with, like, skull. Like, I don't know. It's just too much.
Well,
and,
it's a thing now because now it's definitely a thing to be a
Sure.
quote unquote Halloween person.
Right.
And, you know, going out to stores and like, oh, countdown to Halloween. It's like, okay, whatever. Oh, first sightings of stuff in stores. And it's getting earlier and earlier. Like Michael's, they dropped their fucking Halloween shit last fucking week. And guess what? It's all garbage.
right. Well, I told you I took Britt to Home Goods, Home Sense, and TJ Maxx. They all are owned by the same people.
Yeah.
There's 3 of them in the same strip mall in Oxford Valley.
Yeah.
We were just gonna go to Home Goods, but we were driving by Home Sense.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, you see it in the window?"
Yeah.
I was like, "All right, we'll go there after here, depending on how it turns out." A lot of great shit.
Yeah.
It's not bullshit. Those
Yeah.
3 places, if you go there,
Oh no, they're good. It's I'm kind of specifically talking about the craft stores,
Right.
That have kind of like Michael's, Joanne, and
AC Moore.
AC. Well, they don't exist anymore.
Right.
Hobby Lobby, and it's like it gets more expensive and less creative every year. And then there's Michael's, who's been caught red-handed stealing artists' designs and just
Right.
recreating them.
Right.
So it's a little disheartening because, you know, now that there's more money there because there's a whole culture there
Right.
of people who are like ready to, you know, throw money at stuff because it's black and orange.
Yeah.
But like, it's, you know, basically my whole point here is that Spirit Halloween needs to fucking do better. Like,
You're the big dog.
yeah,
Be the big dog.
yeah, and really all they're doing is just, you know, oh, here's some more licenses. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool. I think it's like they're missing the point. Yeah, people do want to dress as characters from movies, but don't be just that. You know, we don't need 16 different versions of 11 from Stranger Things.
Right. Well, yeah, it's like when I was coming up too, like, besides the stuff my mom would make, we'd go, like, we talked about this before, Party City, right?
Yeah.
And you'd have that whole wall
Yeah.
of licensed stuff.
Yeah.
But then a lot of it was just, like, random things that they made, right?
Yeah, and those are the
And then you'd have the wall of masks, right? Of silicone masks, rubber masks, right?
Yeah.
Was above it. And then you'd have a bunch of different sections of just kind of make your own shit up,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that's the coolest shit is, like,
Yeah.
coming up with your own characters.
Yeah, get a
and,
cape from here, get a mask from here, get some monster hands.
Get this makeup, get
Yep.
this, come up with this character. And
Yep.
it's sad that, like, it's sad that it's so easy to get now, like, the full on, you know, this is this design, you know, like,
Yeah.
this is, and that comes with the licensing, of course. But
Yeah, I think it's just, you know, it shouldn't be so, like,
ready-made.
It's good to be ready-made because that's what they're there for. It's a holiday. There's a small window where people are actually buying costumes,
Right.
and they figured that out clearly because look at all the decor. Because like, oh, people are going to come in for the decor way fucking early.
Yeah.
But I think it sucks that, like, say you're a kid that wants to dress as, I don't know, Frankenstein, right? If there's not a movie or something particularly popular around that, maybe you're not going to find a costume for that in the biggest Halloween costume store
Right.
that year, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, no, I get that. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
And that's nuts because it's like, well, yeah, we're the biggest Halloween store, but you know, I hope you want to be something from a franchise that's out right around now,
Right.
or is one of these franchises that they keep around forever.
Right. And then they're like, you know, nah, we'll go to Amazon then, you know, and it's like,
And that's not the same. Going to the store to pick your Halloween costume, that's fucking cool.
because there used to be a bunch of random, like, Halloween Adventure, all these other ones. They would have,
Remember Halloween Adventure? I completely forgot about them. I didn't know about them until I came out to Philly for college,
man,
and then
they're-
you guys, I saw the huge signs.
yeah.
Oh wow! And you guys took me. To one
Yeah,
of them.
we used to have these pop-up stores,
Yeah.
like, every year, and you'd have to find them. You'd have to be the one, like, yo, like, you know, me and Chris would come in, like, we were driving somewhere, like, he'd be out somewhere, and we'd pass one, I'm like, yo, dude, fucking, you know, and there was Halloween Adventure. There were always, like, 1 or 2 in the malls. There was always a Halloween Adventure at Neshaminy, Oxford Valley, and Franklin Mills. They were always there. But there were 2 or 3 other pop-up Halloween shops, and some of them, motherfucker, would have haunted houses in the back. And it was the coolest.
yeah.
Dude, it was like,
That's-
it'd be called, like, you know, Scare Frightville, whatever name.
yeah.
But if you wait in the back, they're like, oh yeah, we set up all haunted house. You can fucking go through. Shops in the front, haunted house in the back. And it's like,
Yeah.
where the fuck is that?
Well, why do they need to do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, now these stores, oh, well, they're coming here for costumes. What's this extra shit? Why do we... That store space could be utilized to present more product.
Right.
It's all corporate bullshit.
Yeah.
And it sucks because, you know, just like any other industry, you know, once the corporate takes over, the mom and pops are the ones that always suffer. I mean, you mentioned Amazon. That's a great example. Where's all the mom and pop bookstores that had all the, you know, the stuff that you can get right there, and you're supporting like a family. Now, yeah, you can get whatever you're looking for basically from Amazon, but it's like, you know, you're just feeding Skynet every time you fucking order something from there. You know what I mean? So,
well, before we go too off the rails here, and it's we both feel the same thing. We miss the olden days of.
I mean, it's still in there, and I'm not trying to be like, you know, old guy yells about shit from his childhood, but it's like, you know, I just, they have the reins. Spirit Halloween has the reins, and what do they decide to do with it? Make some fucking movie that's like a copy of a movie that's already the copy of something else. It's just, it's so stupid. But
it's Halloween propaganda.
Yes, it is, but it's so paper thin that, like, man, couldn't you have come up with something a little bit better? They visit the store? What?
Literally, they announced that movie last year, and it's already out. That tells you all you need to know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was probably filmed on somebody's fucking phone. Yeah. So, I mean, whatever. I mean, I can't imagine that's getting a theatrical release. I think it's probably going to go straight to streaming.
I think it's going to HBO Max.
Of course.
And, I mean, once again, they were probably going to release it in the theater, but it was test screenings deemed it unredeemable.
Yeah, it's what it is, man. I mean, Halloween's always had that air of, like, you know, the people who are making it and doing it themselves are always in line with the true spirit of it anyway, so it's whatever. And, you know, Spirit Halloween will probably be around for, you know, a long time, but the other company that's a little more hungry and has a little bit more edge to it and is, you know, a little bit more in touch with, you know, the fans and what people are really into, that'll be the next thing.
Yeah, we had, my last thing before we go, we had, couple years ago, it was 3 years ago me and Brittany got married. 4 years now. It was, you know, Halloween time, and there was another pop-up store in Woodhaven, and it was like called like Halloween Village or Halloween Town. Like, and then a billboard, I was like, you know, we were on vacation.
Go to the small one.
So we went there, but the big problem was they were doing the same fucking shit
as Halloween.
They basically had like spirit stuff. There was some other stuff, and like they were trying, but it was mostly just like Spirit Halloween stuff.
So they were trying to be mistaken as a Spirit Halloween,
right?
And had the same kind of setup.
Yeah, and they came into they rented a Babies R Us, you know, and it was just like, oh god damn it! I thought this was going to be something a little different. I thought it was going to be Halloween Adventure. I thought it was going to be.
You've got and I would love to see, like, you know, things that there was, you know, you hear about the stores that exist in like cities, like, oh, they have costume shops and Halloween stores that exist year round, and slowly those are dying too. There's that one in New York that finally went the way of the dinosaurs, and that's like, oh man, that's like, because those places, like, it doesn't have to break down every year, so there's gonna be weird shit that's been there for like decades that you could find in the back of a rack
you're
or
like,
something.
Whoa, this is it.
Yeah, you know what I mean, or like just find something, you know, it's just,
it's sad. It's definitely sad.
You know, and it's, you know, it's what it is.
Well,
not to be a bummer at the end of our Tower of London ghost episode, but you know,
we're getting dangerously close to the season, and we're clearing our minds. Like we said, this is our therapy. This is this is what we do, and like that was we decided to talk about these kind of things, and I mean that's what it is. And the Tower of London's haunted. Yeah, and I mean there's not much more we can say about that, but tack on this stuff at the end of this episode, and I mean my closing statement, if anything, would be you know. Make a Halloween shop out of your house. Someone do it. Someone do it. Sell them out of your house. You know?
No. How about this? Make your own fucking costume.
I think we just said the same thing. No. Yeah, make your own costume. Figure something out. Come up with a character.
Whatever. You know, I can't take responsibility for this. Just celebrate Halloween. That's all.
Yeah.
So it doesn't die. And just if you want to not do something, just boycott some fucking trunk or treats this year. That's what you need to do. Because that's horse shit.
Yeah.
And I think Spirit Halloween just came out with this year a whole new line of, you know, decorate your trunk for the trunk or treat. That's why.
Streamlined bullshit, baby. Here we go.
Yep.
Anyway, For this episode of Other Dangerous Podcast, I am Kenneth Edward James.
And I'm Jason Michael McKittrick.
And as always, have a spooky evening.
Spooky.
Thank you for listening to Other Dangerous Podcasts. Have you encountered the other dangers? If so, you can email us at otherdangerouspodcast@gmail.com. And if you'd like to have a discussion about the paranormal, you can find us at Other Dangerous Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. There you can find submitted pictures, videos, and artwork from listeners. We are now streaming on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else podcasts are streamed. And after listening, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to bring you the other dangers.